Alright, starting the day off with 2 Greek yogurts. There's like a Dannon Light and Fit, which is a little bit more carbs. So I have that one afterwards, and this 000 one's pretty much all protein. But yeah, I woke up starving this morning, so that means we're at a good deficit right now. Because I can literally, it hurts today. It's not a fun feeling, but we're gonna smash these. This is a total of, looking at my Fitness Pal, 34 carbs, 3 grams of fat, 27 protein. So that's what we're starting breakfast with. Oh, and that's including, I have a little French vanilla creamer that I put in my coffee. That just helps get me up. Yeah, it's gonna be a long day today, but it's Friday. So it's the weekend. That doesn't help a ton because I'm still dieting, but it's the last day of super low carb, and it's the last day of work for the week. So by the end of today, I'll probably be feeling pretty good. No, strike that, I take that back. By the end of today, I'm gonna be feeling super tired, and tomorrow it's gonna be nice to wake up and be able to eat carbs. In case you're wondering, that's today's macros.
All right, guys, so 8 days out. This is our last workout before we get into the peak week specific workouts. And today's was a back and triceps. All the exercises here aiming for around 12 reps, doing 4 to 5 sets per exercise. So I won't go through too many of those. Just trying to keep the intensity high and the rest low. Not going too heavy this close to the show, just because I'm weak and more susceptible to injury. But what I really want to touch on during these workouts is simply the fact that doing your best at this point is all that's really going to matter. You're going to feel terrible. I mean, this is probably the worst I've felt working out maybe ever. I just was in a fog the whole day and really just couldn't seem to get a pump, couldn't seem to get my head in the zone. I mean, I didn't even put earphones in or anything. I was just very much trying to focus on feeling it in my body with no distractions, no music or anything. And even then, it was very, very tough. Back is a muscle it's hard to get a mind-muscle connection with it as it is. When you do not have a lot of carbs, your brain simply does not function as fast as it can. So, add that into the mix, and it's a very hard muscle to try to form a connection with. But if you're really serious about doing peak week well, you have to focus on mind-muscle connection and really squeezing each muscle independently of the others. And that's gonna help you not only get that mind-muscle connection down for posing, but really allow you to target each muscle precisely when it needs to be targeted leading up to and into peak week and then your show day. So today's workout, a lot of the exercises I did were tailored more towards machine work, which allows it to be a little safer. I don't want to lose focus or make a stupid mistake with heavy bent over barbell rows this close to a show date. And simply because I think that with such a low carb level and such fogginess in your head, a mistake like that's easy to make. And whatever results or increase in results I might see from doing a lot of free weight work as compared to machine work in these final workouts, I don't feel like that's a risk worth taking if I can get relatively comparable results using machines. So I opt for a lot more machine work here, trying to focus in on the mind-muscle connection. And I don't worry too much about going heavy or what I'm lifting, just getting a good burn, feeling that connection, and trying to take the muscle to failure in these last workouts before we start the actual week of peak week, where we're not going to be doing that anymore. So this week, still going hard, still really burning out, especially on triceps here, taking the muscle to complete muscular failure, and just pushing through the mental barrier. If this prep has been anything, it's really been mental toughness. And I haven't vlogged it very consistently, and that's again something that I'm learning how to do and do better. And this isn't gonna be a one-time thing. I want to do this again every year, but it's something I can improve on, and I'm learning about things I can improve on during this cut. But it's been a real big just mental challenge to stick with it, and to the minute you bulk up to 200 pounds, you get to a point where you're like, oh, even though I don't have the abs anymore, I like this because I'm strong. And when you just get used to being up there and liking it. Then you cut down, I cut down to 170 pounds, and it's like, well, all these lifts I'm doing now, I feel so weak, even though, I have the abs, I have the six pack, but I feel weak compared to where I was at. So it's a mental challenge and it's a lot of discipline. But I think at the end of the day, if you can really, leave your ego at the door and try to sculpt something impressive, I love that challenge. And I hope you guys do too. I'm going to see you in a whiteboard talk now. But that was today's workout. All right, so hopefully the lighting is a little bit better this time. Today's whiteboard talk, we're looking at cardio for peak week. So this may look like a bunch of bars and some weird acronyms to you. If you don't know what this stuff is, I'm going to go through all of it in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and we're going to go over different types of cardio that we're looking at, what functions they serve, and how we're going to move them into our peak week in order to utilize cardio the best way to bring out the best form on stage. So let's get right into it. HIITLISS, HIIT and LISS. These are things you might have heard around the gym before. You might have heard people say, oh, I do HIIT cardio, I do HIIT sessions. Some people, you may have heard them a little less popular say, I do LISS cardio, or you'll hear them say, I do low intensity steady state cardio. That's what that means. HIIT cardio is high intensity interval training. This is simply going for anywhere from like 17 minutes up until, you can even push 30 minutes. However, you're not going to be going for the long durations of this. You can go as simple as 10 rounds, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off for 10 minutes. The idea behind high intensity interval training is that you're going to do a burst of high output training for a duration of time, followed by a very low intensity recovery period, and you alternate on and off. Basically doing intervals. So let's say that you're going to be on a bike. You would sprint for 30 seconds and then just go at a leisurely pace for 60 seconds while you catch your breath again. Now, there have been a lot of studies on HIIT cardio, and what has been shown in the literature is that it does increase your metabolism much more than LISS cardio. Now, LISS cardio, low intensity steady state cardio, is simply just that. It's a much lower intensity. Heart rate is much lower than it would be in an interval training session, but you keep it at a steady state for a longer period of time. Now, the pros to LISS training is that it's easier to quantitatively track what it's doing to your body. While HIIT cardio will it'll provide a lot of boost to your metabolism, it's hard to measure how many calories that burns over time. And when you're on your bike, it will burn less calories. Let's say you're looking at a stationary bike and you can see a screen. You're going to burn less calories with HIIT than you are with LISS. However, LISS doesn't spike your metabolism the same way that HIIT cardio does. So in order to get the benefit of spiking our metabolism, but the ease of being able to quantitatively track our caloric burning and burn more calories at one period in time, we're going to use a mix of HIIT and low intensity steady state cardio. So this graph here, this is going to show your days: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, show day. Now, the red columns are going to be your HIIT cardio, and the blue columns are going to be your low intensity steady state. Now, these two in the beginning here, that's going to be your weekend. Because you're not lifting during that week, and we're going to be covering that in tomorrow's video, you're not going to be lifting on your Saturday or Sunday. You're going to take this off as you prepare for a special week regimen that's specific to peak week. But we're not going to take off everything, just the lifting aspect. You're still going to do HIIT cardio. And this is because we want to spike our metabolism as much as possible. Because how we said in the last video, we spike our carbs heading into the week, and so we have this higher plateau here for our carbohydrates to help spike our metabolism. We're going to use HIIT cardio to accentuate that, trying to spike the metabolism not only through using our carbohydrates in a constructive way, but also by using HIIT cardio. I would recommend, if you're new to HIIT, doing a 1-to-2 ratio, meaning for every 1 second you have at high intensity, you're going to have 2 seconds of recovery at low intensity. Again, if you're doing, let's say, 10 to 12 rounds of HIIT, it's going to be about 17 minutes with 30-second sprints and 60 seconds of rest. Now, if you're more experienced with HIIT, this is obviously up to you. you can whittle that down to a 1-to-1 ratio at 30 seconds and 30 seconds, or even do mixes. Do like a 1 to 1.5 ratio with 30 seconds on, 45 seconds off. And if you even want to get a little crazy, you can up your 1-to-1 ratio. If you're able to sustain a sprint for longer, you can do 45 seconds on, 45 seconds off, or even 60 seconds on, 60 seconds off. However, you feel comfortable doing it and you feel like you're not completely gassed, you're just, you're able to complete all your rounds. That's the most important thing here. It also has been shown that doing high intensity interval training with a resistance based exercise, such as resistance sprints on a bike, or doing it with some kind of burpees, plyometrics, where your body's having to activate against a significant amount of resistance, that helps spike your testosterone. So if that's something you're looking to keep higher throughout the peak week, think about using resistance in your high intensity interval training as well. Now, Monday up until show day is going to be mostly low intensity steady state. At a diminishing rate, as we get closer to the show, there's less and less need to burn off those final calories, simply because we're going to be tapering down our caloric intake as well. So here at these high carb days, you're going to have the energy to be able to do about 50 minutes at low intensity to moderate intensity. Tapering that down to 40 minutes. Midweek on a Wednesday, I want you to hit one more high intensity interval training session, just to one more time spike our metabolism so it stays ramped up, even though we're dropping our carbohydrates a little bit. And then our last 2 days, very, very light, 20-25 minutes of cardio tops, very low intensity, not even entering into the realm of moderate intensity, just to burn a couple extra calories, and again, get the blood flowing, pumping, and getting glycogen into those muscle cells. And then show day comes along, there's going to be no cardio whatsoever. That day is specifically eating and pumping up the muscle, water intake, sodium, and we'll get into all that when we reach that day. So, if you guys are wondering how to fit cardio into peak week, this, I believe, is one of the best ways to do it, mixing up your HIIT cardio and your low intensity steady state to moderate state cardio in a way that kind of follows your diet. So if you do this arbitrarily, you might have them opposing each other, where you're spiking your metabolism while your metabolism is supposed to be dropping, or you're lowering your metabolism, or not spiking your metabolism while other things are spiking it. So if you match them in unison with your diet, it can add for a very dramatic effect and hopefully a lot of success on stage. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this whiteboard talk. I hope the lighting's a little bit better on this video. You can see it, and I hope you got something from this. And I believe that's what we're gonna end today's vlog on. Things are getting pretty busy around here, so it's hard to get this all in. I apologize if these seemed a little bit rushed, but I'm trying to make this nice and informative. It also is peak week for me. I'm going through this, I'm living this, and it is very hard to focus and very hard to get these done. So I apologize if I seem a little carb depleted, just because I am. So again, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video.